This is Android Basics, in which we bring you up to date on the things that you should know to use your Android phone.
Let's move on to our second part of this Android Basics segment. And of course, we're talking about that Android 14 QPR 1 Beta 1. You know, so many things have gone wrong about this thing, guys, right from the get-go. It was supposed to drop on Monday, the 18th, right? That thing didn't drop till the 20th of this month. So 2 days later, Google is just late everywhere. And besides the oddity, which we mentioned last week, we had never had a situation wherein the QPR precedes the regular release. Usually, the regular release comes first and the QPR builds on that regular release. But then Google didn't do that. And look at where we are today, having the QPR preceding the actual release of the regular Android 14. Here's the funniest thing that I want to read here a little bit that Google said, and I find it very interesting because it's just very odd. Here's what that thing says. It says, building upon the initial release of Android 14, we continue to update the platform with fixes and improvements that are then rolled out to supported devices. So here's my problem. I think this thing was not written right. It should have said building upon the beta releases of Android 14. We don't have an initial Android 14. So it kind of makes no sense at all. What do you guys think about that little clip there I just read?
I think they have copy pasted from Android 13 and just made a change in the number, and they must have said that because I don't know what they are trying to do.
Yeah, that must be exactly what's going on.
Because this is so odd. Like I said, we've never had this before. And so we touched a little bit on this when we were talking about the fact that it was going to be here this week. And of course, here we are. And if you jump into it like some of us have, I have, John has, and Austin, you have, haven't you?
Yeah, I've opted into Q and under the QPR 1. So I have the beta running.
Now, there are some advisories, and I want to look at some of those advisories. And here's what it says. Beware of these general advisories about the release. And here are some of those advisories. It says, this release might have various stability, battery, or performance issues. And then 2, for users with accessibility needs, this release might not be appropriate for daily use. You know, we keep seeing this every time Google releases something, and this like a little disclaimer: if you have some disability or some accessibility needs, this may not be an appropriate thing for you to use. I don't understand this, guys. What do you think about this kind of stuff? I mean, someone should be checking these things to make sure that we have equal access.
So I just wanted to say that these lines are there in every beta ever released. I don't know from when I'm using betas and other beta products. In all those products, this line has to be there. I don't know where they have bought this line up.
Okay, so what I think is that what they are giving, or the impression that they are giving, is that accessibility is not thought of from the start of building the update. So this means that it's like a second thought, or we will now focus on the mainstream stuff and on the features, and then we'll let the accessibility stuff be focused on. And this is not giving a good impression, I think.
Or it could be that they are just wanting to make sure that they cover their behind, you know. So if something doesn't work too well for you as someone with an accessibility need, then at least you know that we've given you that warning that, yeah, this thing may not be working for you.
So to continue with my statement, I also think that because the QPR1 and other betas might crash or might have some serious bugs, TalkBack and other accessibility products might stop working. And if your phone crashes and you don't have any help around, then it will be a problem for you to get help. So that's what they're implying with.
Yeah, but we haven't seen any consequential things happen as a result. But I think, like I said, they want to make sure that they've covered their behinds in the event that something is not working well for you. Then, it's that accessibility that might be the problem. But anyway, I haven't seen any problems yet. So we're on good grounds. The only thing that I noticed though is that when I unlock my phone, it says 123 home or 12 home. Now I haven't done my doctrinal thing whereby I would do a factory reset because I've not been feeling so well this week, and so I haven't had the time to do a factory reset to see if that changes. If it does change, when I do a factory reset next week, I'll be sure to report that when I have it reset.
So speaking of accessibility, I'm going to open another page. When you contact the support team for anything you're having issues with, and when you talk about you're using accessibility product like TalkBack or something like that, they say it must be something to do with your TalkBack version. But in fact, there is nothing to do with TalkBack. I'm just stating that I'm using TalkBack. But they say, okay, for example, you're having a problem with Chrome and there is a bug in Google Chrome. They say it might be the problem with the TalkBack that you're using. No way.
Well, but don't you tell them what version you have?
Even though you tell them you're using the latest version, this maybe you broke something inside.
Okay. Well, what can I
So
say?
this comment is not only with Google, but it's with everything else. I contact any software, anything non-Google software, and tell them I'm using a screen reader. They say, "Oh no, your screen reader might be having giving this error. It might not be supporting the software. There was some problem." So the blame is always on the screen reader.
They really need to get away with this. I mean, they need to know that screen reader is not breaking things.
Well, you never know. The screen reader could be breaking something in the background, right? What else can we say about these things, my friends? If everything is kind of getting blamed on our access, then what else can we say? It could be that, that screen reader doing something funny in the background. You never can tell, can you? That's my sarcasm there, by the way. So let's look at the third item here. It says some apps might not function as expected when running on this release. These limitations include Google's apps as well as other apps. Number 4, Android 14 QPR beta builds aren't compatibility test suite CTS approved, but they have passed preliminary testing and provide a stable set of pre-release apps for developers. Apps that depend on CTS approved builds or use safety net APIs might not work normally on Android 14 QPR beta builds. So those are some of the advisories that we have about this. Now, I do want to mention here that my wallet is not working. So that's one of those things that got broken. And so if you are using your wallet, it may not be broken for you, but it is broken. And I just checked, and some people are having the same problem. So it's something that Google didn't mention in here, but it's happening.
It's happening because the safety net API is not present, so there is no encrypted channel between your phone and the provider that provides the finance or the card provider. So that's why it does not work.
Yeah, so we got these problems to be aware of. So if you are part of this and you notice something odd not working for you, it could be part of that. Now, So if you decide to jump on it, then keep some of these things in mind. And I think another thing that is not working right, or maybe got fixed, I don't remember which is what, but it has to do with if you swap SIMs or something, it may not work, or connect to the cellular network or something along that line. Um, I don't remember what the exact wording is, but it has to do like hot swapping of your SIM cards and things like that.
For today. We should reserve something for QPR too. And I think we should tell our listeners some of the new features. However, some of them they don't work. You need to enable some flags for them to work. But there are some new features. Most of them are visual, but there are two very interesting features that interest me. So Warren, you can give them a whole list and then I can comment on them.
Well, so a lot of these things, like you said, Austin, some of them are hidden behind flags, which means because we got two more betas between now and December when this QPR would mature, which we call a Google feature drop. But I think one of the things that we've been waiting for a long time, and Google finally got around to doing so, has to do with the fact that we can now see our battery count, cycles, how many times it's charged your battery when your battery was manufactured and how many times it has gone through a cycle. So, Austin, you want to show that on your phone? That would be great.
So I'm on my settings page, and then I clicked on about phone, and you need to phone number, legal information, regulatory, scroll down to battery information, device name, SIM status, model, SIMs, IMEI, Android version, battery information, and you need to click on this. Battery information, navigate up. Manufacture date, March 6, 2023. 1 of 3. In list, 3. Cycle count, 49. 2 of 3. Due to quality inspections before shipping, the cycle count may not be 0 on first use. 3. So that is the three lines that are there: the manufacturing date, the cycle count, which is 49, which means that if you charge your phone for 100%, that means one cycle. So let's say you charge your phone for 10% today and about 60% tomorrow, and the remaining 30% day after, then that counts as one cycle. And the third line that says quality inspection and all is that when your phone is being built, they do some diagnostics before shipping your phone, and then that does not count as a cycle. It says something like that, and the manufacturing date also is there. But they should have also given a line that says your battery health, because cycles don't matter every in all the thing. It unless you know like your battery is rated for so many cycles, then you can calculate.
That's a huge omission. And, this is their first foray into this. And I'm hoping, though, that somehow down the line that they're going to bring this battery health, letting us know whether you're at 80% or whatever, because that's what people want to know. Of course, it's important to know the cycles that I've had, but at least I want to know what my battery health is. For example, I got mine back last year. Austin, you just got yours like in June of this year,
Yeah,
third
in
week
June.
of
Yeah,
June.
starting June.
And
Yeah.
I got mine Pixel 7 Pro back in October of last year, somewhere in there. Mine says the battery was built, in September. And I have so far 134 cycles, in mine. But, that doesn't tell me anything about the battery health, like you said, Austin. And so I think that one crucial part has to be with that battery health. I need to know that. It's important, and Google needs to fix that.
Yeah, it's
So
easy
even
enough to calculate, I think, because there's what they shoot for is something along the lines of like after is it 500 or 300 cycles? It's supposed to be down to 80. It's still supposed to be above 80% health. So, I mean, they could just extrapolate the data from there, converting it and give you an estimate. Even if they put a disclaimer in there saying this is just an estimate, it would be nice to have it.
so either give us the battery health, or give us like how many cycles does your phone battery is rated for, so that we can calculate that thing on depending on that.
Yeah, and then another thing though, and this has to do with the tablet or the fold that finally got a fix. I mean, it's a fix somehow, but so as you some of the apps don't, when you run those apps, they don't take the full advantage of the screen. So Google kind of somehow fixed that. So especially I think the one that I heard about the most has to do with Instagram because it has that borders, basically the app was not developed for tablets. But so Google found a workaround to where you could choose to customize those things to stretch to fit the screen. So that's another good thing. Another one has to do with the foldable, whereupon if you have an app while the tablet or Google Fold is unfolded and you're working on an app and you close that fold, then it's working there for you on your outer screen. But you can customize it. It can time out if you don't attend to it, within the appropriate time, but you can further customize how long it should stay without being touched before it goes away. So I think that's another good thing that Google probably is taking from Samsung's playbook. So, these guys take things from each other, and it's a good thing we, the consumers, why not being the ones that benefit from such moves?
Another feature that I'm very interested in is the low powered Find My Phone. So what happens is, for those of you who have not got your phone robbed or anything, as the robbers pick up your phone, they power it down or they change your SIM, and that this feature can come in very handy because it uses low powered Bluetooth so that you can locate your phone, and it uses I don't know what, but it's the feature is there. So we need to try it out and see what happens and how it works. It may not be working in QPR1, but it may be working later on. But at least the feature, the API is there.
That's right. And it's not working for anyone right now, but at least it's part of the roadmap and it's going to be there, whether in beta 2, beta 3, or in the final drop in December for QPR1.
And then when we get that feature, we'll also have the feature that when your phone is powered off, the battery doesn't hold its charge. So we're stealing this feature / bug from Apple because that's why iPhones don't hold their charge when they're powered off, because they go into a low energy mode. They don't really completely
It
power
will
off.
take some time, but the battery will drain for sure. There'll be a little bit of a drain over time.
Yeah, so when it's here, we'll see if that really, or if Google does something different, we'll see what happens. Google is an all-powerful Google, you know what I mean? Decide to.
Yeah, but it's Bluetooth low energy. It's not Bluetooth no energy. It doesn't run on magic.
Well, you never know. Google may have some Haitian magic. You never can tell with Google. Oh, another thing though that also is not quite there. I don't know anyone remember back then when we had the uh, on tap from Google. Google introduced that thing back with Marshmallow, and then it kind of got taken away. And somehow some people are seeing it in the flags. Remember back in those days when you long press the home key, for example, and you can analyze the items or the text that's there and things like that. It was quite a great feature, and Google took it away. But somehow, people that are digging into this QPR are finding references to it on the search handler, which is basically the same thing. So I'm looking forward to that on tap, Google on tap coming back. It'll be great.
We also need to tell our listeners that some of these features that we are talking about, it may not be there in the final release, and also the show notes will have a lot of links. So check it out. If I know the website is not the show notes are not easy to get to on the website, but if you go to YouTube, they'll be surely there on YouTube. That's an easier way to get the show notes.